Welcome to Invited Back. I'm sitting on the shores of Lake Washington. You can't see it too well in the background as the fog is thick this morning, but I wanted to come sit here as I recap 2024. It felt like an appropriate spot to sit and remember the beginning of Q2, April 1st. It was a Monday morning. I was in a Zoom call with the team, and I got a couple missed calls and a text that said, "Sab, call me. Your brother isn't here anymore." And that is a Monday morning I will never forget. There aren't words. There's a lot of feelings and so many thoughts. So April launched myself and my mom and my dad and my niece, my husband, my kids, my aunts and uncles into each other in a new way, really. As we had conversation after conversation, uncovering the details behind my brother's death and the business side of death that nobody really talks about or prepares you for, but there are so many details to think about. So my mom and I came here to Washington to have a gathering to remember Remy with the people that we grew up together with. And it was a beautiful time down in Olympia. And then we flew to meet my niece in Nevada and had a service to remember him with the community that loved him deeply there in Yerington. But even before that, 8 days later, on April 8th, after we found out about my brother, I flew to Jacksonville, Florida with the Wild team. So it's very appropriate also that I'm here sitting on Lake Washington in Kirkland, getting ready to go meet the team in person. As I got to meet them there in Jacksonville, Florida for a conference, we led a workshop, a day-long CEO forum where we talked about building and measuring trust, what it looks like to be a whole and intentional CEO and be a whole and intentional leader. I'd never been to Florida. In some ways, it was a gift in the grief to be on mission together, to be in a new space, to meet leaders, seasoned leaders who have been on mission for decades and decades, gathering from all across the world to be filled and fueled for the year ahead. So it was a quick trip to Jacksonville, Florida, home for a few days, and then travel with my mom to Washington and Nevada. The moment by moment journey of grief that comes as you think about memories, as you share stories, as you feel heartbroken and sad. As the fog clears a little bit, my brother and I, across the lake somewhere is Mercer Island, where my brother and I grew up. For the my first 4 years here in Washington, I was in Palau for my first year, and then we grew up in my grandma's lake house at Lake Washington over on Mercer Island, and we'd swim in this water. And what's really funny is when my brother first moved here from Palau, my mom and dad were telling him, don't jump in that water. It's really cold. And all he knew was Palau water. And so he jumped right in and was freezing. This water never warms up. But he sure loved the water in every form of it. So I'm so thankful just to be here at Lake Washington for a moment of peace, to remember him and the memories that I'll continue to grow through and share and reshape, because that is necessary too. I think I'll just stop there. We'll just maybe move through the Q2 recap month by month, because there's a lot to learn from and remember. Sending all my aloha until next time.